Hello, my name is Floyd Freeman. I'm going to teach you ways to do Disney on the cheap. Now, I'm a teacher, so I can only do Disney World in the summertime. And so usually Disney World in the summertime is at its most hottest and it's also its most expensive. So I'm going to give you little pointers to help you um, make it a little bit cheaper to go to Disney World. I also have my daughter here, and she's going to mention little things that can help you with your children as you go on the Disney World trip. All right, the first thing we need to talk about is hotels. Now, my advice is to stay off property. Of course, you will lose some of the magic of being in Disney World, but some of the magic of Disney World is that Disney World, you have to pay for that magic. Of course, if you're in Disney World, you're going to have to pay the Disney World expensive hotel fees, and you'll also be limited to what you can do in Disney World. For example, if you were to stay in the cheapest hotel in the summertime, the average price of the cheap hotel is around $200. Now that's on finding a great deal, and you'll usually find, which you really don't find too much in the summertime. So if you're paying about $200 a night for Pop Century or one of the cheaper hotels in Disney is to around $200. Now this is the problem: the hotel is only 260 square footage, and so if you're staying in this hotel, which is more like a motel, it's very small. Also, you only get two double beds, and if you're a grown man and you have your wife, a double bed is probably not going to be comfortable. Or if you have two kids, definitely teenage kids, it's not going to be comfortable. So, my advice is to get a townhome or rent a townhome from HomeAway or Airbnb. With these prices, they're usually a lot cheaper than Disney World. Now, there is some negatives. The first negative of getting a HomeAway home or Airbnb is you have to rent a car. And when you rent a car, I paid the parking fee at Disney, which could be anywhere. I think it was $25 last time we went, but it may be up to $30. They just keep going up. But it's still going to be cheaper than doing the hotel at Disney. Now, the reason I would stay off property at Disney World is the cost of Disney World's hotels. If you look at this chart, you can see that the All Star Sport, one of the cheapest places you can stay in Disney World, in the summertime is usually around $200 a night. Now, that may seem like a good bargain, but in reality, if you've ever seen the All Star Sport, it's basically a big motel room, thin walls, very small room. The room is only 260 square foot. We always do HomeAway, and I just want to show you some of the rates that they have and some of the things that they have at HomeAway. HomeAway has a lot of different townhomes. People rent out their rental properties or their timeshares. And this is just some of the prices you're going to see. This is for a week in July in 2021. And these prices pretty much stay around the same. Just as some examples, this townhome right here is only $84 a night. When all is said and done and everything is paid for after taxes and everything, you're going to pay $800 for a week. Now, you have to realize is that this place is going to be have a nice size. It's a 3 bedroom, 3 baths room, 2153 square footage, and most of these townhomes have a pool. Now the pool is not very big, but sometimes they have a community pool like this one right here that you can swim in. They have arcades and but just look at the size that you would get if you stayed in a townhome. Compare this to one little room, and you're going out cheaper with buying this townhome. Now, if you really want to splurge a little bit, this townhome is only $800, but this next townhome is a little bit more, 1,100. But look at the beauty of it, and of course, your kids would love staying in that room. Just some of the pictures of this townhome. And another big advantage is your kitchen. You're no longer bogged down with buying stuff from Disney. Now you can make your own breakfast or your own lunch, dinner, and it's just an advantage of going to cheaper places to get food or going to the grocery store and making your own food. All right, to rent a car for about a week, you can go to places like Costco Travel if you're a Costco member or Priceline. The car rental should be no more than $200 to $300 per the week. Now, of course, you're doing something bigger like an SUV, you might go up to 350 or 400, but I would never pay over that. If you're in Disney World, you got to realize they have a lot of cars, and so they're definitely, if you see your rate is higher than $400, you need to see if you can find a different company. The next thing is the most expensive thing on the list, and that is going to be your tickets. Now, there is ways to get tickets cheaper. If you're a military person, you could get them cheaper. Or if you're a Florida or sometimes Georgia resident, you can find them cheaper. But for us, we live in Texas, so our only thing we could do to get them cheaper was to go through different websites. The websites we went through was Undercover Tourist. If you do it through Undercover Tourist, you will find that the tickets are usually $40 to $50 cheaper than Disney World. They will send them to your home or their e-ticket, whichever one you want. And if you think about $40 to $50 of savings on a ticket, that could easily be, if you have a family of four, $200 cheaper on a ticket. But remember, this is going to be one of your most expensive things, is your tickets to the park. The next big thing is, of course, doing more days. If you have more time, the more days you do it, the cheaper Disney World gets. For example, if you were buying a 3-day tickets, I would never, ever, 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 ever do a 3-day ticket, because it's just kind of like you're paying the maximum price. Or if you're doing a 1-day ticket, you're paying the maximum price. If you're going to do it, the more days you do, the more cheaper Disney gets. Next, we're going to talk about food. To save money on food, one thing you can always do, a lot of people don't know, at Disney parks, you can bring in any food you want, as long as you don't have to heat it up. So you can bring in Lunchables, you can bring in fruit snacks, sandwiches. You can bring in anything as long as it doesn't need to be warmed up. Now, you can also bring in bottled water, or if you want to, you can have water bottles. Another thing you can do is you can go to any restaurant and ask for a cup of water, and they will give you a ice cold water that you can fill up your water bottles. The water in Florida is not that good, so what we would do is always get Kool-Aid packets or lemonade packets, and to make the water taste better. This can really save you a lot of time. Even if you do eat something on eat something at Disney World, if you bring chips or something like that, they can help cut down the cost of Disney World's food. My daughter is going to tell you a little bit about the food that we bought at Disney World.
So I got a churro, and I thought it was going to be like really good, but it wasn't that good. But it wasn't worth it. So definitely pack snacks, because you never know if it'll be like really good or not. So just always be prepared.
One of the things we did with our children is that we gave them a food budget. And so instead of them fussing about we want this, we want that, we just gave them a budget of food. And so they knew that they could buy whatever they wanted. And it really did cut back on having to tell them no or not getting them something when they knew what they wanted and they knew they had their own money. To save time, if you ever order something, do it on mobile ordering. And that'll save you a lot of time instead of having to wait in the long lines. Another thing with food is you can order, as an adult, a lot of people don't know this, you can order kid meals. If you brought in extra food, you can also order kid meals, and that's a lot cheaper, usually about half the price of an adult meal. If you're ever at Disney World and you want something like a fast food, if you're ever at Disney Springs, you can stop at Blaze Pizza and Earl of Sandwich. They are very cheap and very reasonable and very delicious places to eat that'll save you a lot of money. If you're at sit-down places, you can also buy a lot of gift cards. I know when we went out, basically we'd leave Disney Park and eat lunch at like a Taco Bell or McDonald's, and then for dinner we eat at Chili's or something like that. Another thing you can do is if you ever have a Costco, you can buy like a Costco gift card to McCormick, and I forgot the last name, but that restaurant you can use at T-Rex or Rainforest Cafe. The gift card is $80, but if you use it at theirs, you get $100 in credit. So it can save you a lot of money if you want to do T-Rex or Rainforest Cafe. Also, if you don't like places like Taco Bell or McDonald's, if you're not from Florida, try something that your state doesn't have. Like in Texas, we don't have checkers. And I think we didn't have any. We went to a few restaurants we didn't have. So
Like
look
the
up some of the
pizza place.
restaurant in Florida and see if you can find something new. For gas, of course, you can use the app Gas Buddies to find cheap gas to fill up your car. And for souvenirs, now souvenirs, of course, the way we did it is we gave our kids a souvenir budget. We went to Disney store in our local mall. We have an outlet here in Dallas, and we went to the Disney store and we got stuff that was on sale. We got stuff that was on clearance, and we just packed it. Our first time we went, we packed it into our luggage, and then when we got to Disney World, we just gave it to the kids after like going to Disney World or right before Disney World, so the kids were satisfied with those toys. And it saved us a lot of money. Also, you can have a budget where you give the kids a certain amount and you let them decide what they want to get. And a lot of times they will not want to spend the big money. They'll save that money instead of buying a toy, and they won't bother you about for asking for money. Another thing we did when my daughter was 5, she wanted to do the princess dinner. And so, you know, I think it was like $100 for each one of us, and then like $80 for her. And of course, that would have been $400 just to eat with the princess. So what we did is we basically made a deal. We said you can do the Disney princess, or you can get Nintendo DS. Now, remember, this is about 5 years ago. And of course, to our surprise, she wanted the Nintendo DS. So sometimes you can make deals with kids and not have to pay that expensive price. And then, you know, let's get for real. At the Disney World, they have all kind of princesses that your children can meet. So that's not just super important that you have to go out to eat with the princesses. My daughter's also going to talk about some of the souvenirs that she got. And here's she.
So, I got a bunch of souvenirs because I had a $100 budget because my dad gave it to me from our grades. So, the Mickey ears at Disney World are super expensive, so I went to Etsy and I got these. And they worked the whole time, and they were just like the ones at Disney World. And then we got this at Burlington, and it's a portable charger. And because at Disney World there's a place to charge, but nobody like really wanted to stop moving. So, and then we also got my dad's portable charger that he got from Amazon, and the same reason I got mine, because we didn't want to stop moving. And then there's this thing at Walmart that I got from Walmart, and it's a notepad. I don't have the notepad, but then there's a pen that comes with it, and you can get, if your kids like the Disney characters, you can get autographs from it. And then it was pretty expensive, but there was like $1 machine where you wind it up and then it give you like these cool coins. I got 2 of them. And then if you're waiting in line at Disney World, and there's like a little store, you can go to the store and you can ask for a pen, and it'll be like, what are you celebrating for, or like why you came to Disney World.
Another thing you can do is also eBay. If you ever want to find cheap things, just go to eBay and things like, was it Etsy?
Yeah.
And you can find all kind of cheap things that people have already been to Disney World, and you're not just one of those kind of people that just have to have the brand newest or newest things. Also, Target and Walmart, we went and bought shirts there. The Walmart close to Disney World has plenty of shirts. Target has plenty of shirts. And Disney souvenirs like autographed books, you should never really buy it at Disney World, and you'll save a lot of money.
And we also got this fan from Amazon, because if you go to Disney World, there are a lot of little fans that they will try to sell to you. They're like $20. So we got this for like $15, and it worked the whole time, and you just had to charge it at night.
The thing is if you want to do Disney World right, remember, tell your children the fun of the beauty of it is the trip. The trip is the fun thing. So hopefully these tips are helpful.
I loved having a budget because you were in control, and you didn't even have to ask your parents, like, can I get this? Because you were in control, and like you may be the only one buying it because it's your money. And if you go to Florida, there's literally Mickey stuff everywhere. Like, we went to Kohl's in Texas, and there was so much stuff, and I was like, but it was June, so pretty much everybody was going to Disney World. But also, the trip, I mean, if you had leftover money, you could spend it at the airport or anywhere, and it was super fun being in control.
If you let your children help you plan it too, it also gets them excited about the trip. and it lets them budget and see how much the things really do cost. Because at Disney World, a lot of times it's just, you know, you want to make that magic happen, but you can create the magic even before you go if you budget with your children. All right. Hopefully these tips have been helpful. Thank you for your time.